fresh new wind is blowing across Rwanda's financial sector. I'm standing in front of one of the buildings hosting a key stimulant operating within Rwanda's financial sector. This is the headquarters of Rwanda Finance Limited. Right behind me is the National Treasury building. It is located right behind Alliance Towers. The National Treasury building is the nerve center for Rwanda's financial district. The Kigali International Finance Center is meant to tackle major challenges happening within Rwanda's financial sector. Rwanda Finance Limited was created in the year 2018. It is a special purpose vehicle meant to actualize the operations of Kigali International Finance Center. As the year 2020 unfolds, Rwanda Finance Company Limited operations are up and running. Let us meet the team running the operations of the newly mooted Kigali International Finance Center.
Started operations, I would say, early this year. The vision and goal for the leadership of the country has been in the making for quite some time. Now, our mandate as Rwanda Finance is twofold: to develop and to promote the business and financial services sector in Rwanda. To be able to do that, let's start with develop. Develop calls for building a strong financial sector institutional framework. It calls for review and introduction of new laws within our financial ecosystem. Most recently, in January this year, you heard about the anti-money laundering law. You heard about the creation of the counter-finance terrorism unit. And all these are efforts that position us as a country to be compliant with international standards, because you won't be able to attract those private equity actors if you don't have a strong regulatory framework. You don't have a strong tax policy framework. As Rwanda Finance, that's been the core area of focus in the short term. Our role to government is advisory, because we engage with the industry. We are supposed to hear the kind of views that you raise, and we communicate them to government. Policy making mandate lies with the Minister of Finance, and the Minister of Finance, together with other government agencies, have set up a committee that is looking at different countries that we've identified. Because one thing that we need to make clear is that we have a positioning that we want to take, because we are saying we are promoting both in-country investments and cross-border investments, outbound investments. And to be able to do that, saying, look, we need to identify these target markets that we want to be promoting business with. And those are the ones, in terms of having tax treaties, those are the ones that we've identified. We've shared our feedback with the policymakers. We are part of that committee that is, it's now work in progress. So I would say the future is very bright. Perfect. Are we part of the actors? Yes, because we look at our ecosystem. When we look at our ecosystem, we divide it into certain stakeholders. There's the regulator, who is currently the Central Bank of Rwanda. Mainly, I'm talking about the financial services sector. It's the Central Bank of Rwanda and the Capital Markets Authority. And RDB, because RDB does the registration of businesses. Okay? And then we have the industry. Us, we are there as intermediation. We are facilitators to do promotion. And also engage, again, I emphasize engagement with the industry is very critical, because it's the industry that is supposed to be telling us where they see gaps, where they see challenges, and then we create an environment to dialogue and say, how do we address these gaps and challenges? Now, specifically, among the regulatory reform and that we are working on, we have certain laws that are in the pipeline of being drafted that enable us to be compliant to international standards when it comes to fintechs. Key amongst them is the law around data protection, laws around IP. Yes. These are laws that we've already identified and that we are currently working on. So that's really going to be our contribution to this. It's, again, going back to the basis of what do we do? It's to develop and promote. Now, do we have a strong legal framework in place? Because this is always very critical. Yes, we are working on it. Once it's ready and it's been enacted, then we embark on a policy of saying, now let's go out there and create the awareness of the opportunities and that we have within the country. The products that we are looking to develop are beyond PE firms. We are saying we want to be the place for fund management, speaks to PE firms. We want to be a place for fintechs. We want to be a place for global trading and other products. We are new in this space. We are aware both within Rwanda and outside Rwanda. As a company, we have a lot of work to do to create the awareness that is required. We started this conversation with you saying, if a CEO of a company that is already in Rwanda is out there and engaging with international investors, would he be able to explain properly what Rwanda's positioning is? Yes. And the answer to that, not yet. So what keeps me awake is the realization of the task ahead in creating awareness, both especially within Rwanda, within the industry, get that buy-in, create those brand ambassadors, because there are places we won't be able to be everywhere that we would want to be. But if we have good brand ambassadors who understand what our mission is, what we are trying to do, then that would make our work much easier. So what keeps me awake is the task that lies ahead. It's issues around reputation outside Rwanda. The fact that not many are aware of us. So again, that task of creating that awareness, of clearly defining what our value proposition is.